Welcome to Spirit Sherpa Minis, where we go deep on very small subjects. If you're looking for a full episode, those come out on Sundays. This is Minis. Welcome back to Spirit Sherpa Minis, where we take deep dives on small subjects. I'm your host, Kelly Sparta, the Spirit Doctor, and today we're going to talk about something that a friend of mine years ago taught me, and I thought it was so brilliant. What he said to me was, if you are in relationship with someone, never sacrifice for them. And originally I was like, what? What are you talking about? You're always supposed to sacrifice for the person you're in relationship with. Blah, 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 blah. We had a long conversation about it. But in the end, he was right. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a difference between compromise and giving the person you love something that they want, even if it isn't what you want, but doing it out of love and saying, I love you and I want you to have what you want. That's one thing. But saying, oh, okay, fine, you can have what you want, but you owe me, right? That's what we do. We may not say it out loud, but if you're coming at it from the you're going to owe me phase, then one, you've stepped into keeping score, which is the very first step towards destroying your relationship. Two, you've stepped into resentment because you've given something you did not want to give. And three, you are lying to yourself about what was necessary. You have ignored your own knowingness and you have overridden your knowingness of what you want in favor of what the other person wants, which is probably a lifelong pattern from childhood, right? But it tells your inner child, your inner self, that you don't matter, that you are less important than the other person. And that sets up a whole cascade of other things that go horribly wrong for you after that. So this is the thing. Sacrifice, by its definition, invokes all of this stuff, right? I have, my husband looked at me at one point and said, I need to not be working for a month. And I was like, okay, we'll figure it out, right? And it was not a sacrifice, right? There's a difference there, right? It wasn't, really? You can't do this? It was, okay, you need the month off. I get it. We will give you the month off and we'll figure out how to manage financially around that, and that'll be fine. I will make it work. And that's the difference, right? Is I recognize that this is true for you and I want you to have what you want. I want you to have what you need, right? And we'll weather the consequences together, right? That's, I'm on your side and I love you and I want you to have what you want. That's not me saying, okay, honey, you can have this. You think I'm the perfect wife now, right? You think I have value as your spouse now, right? Because that's another way that you build resentment, is by hoping that you giving in rather than wholeheartedly getting on board, which are two different things. You hope that by giving in, that the other person will see you as valuable, that they will love you more, because you're not really convinced that they love you or love you enough now. And so you're always looking for ways to make yourself more valuable, right? And this is the other reason why we sacrifice. Or we'll sacrifice because we think that they're just going to beat us into submission anyway, verbally or otherwise. And so why bother fighting, right? But you want to talk resentment, that's some serious resentment right there. So if you really want to maintain the relationship, don't sacrifice. Negotiate for yourself, advocate for yourself, and say, we can't do this. I can't do this. Or we're going to have to do something different. Or, okay, but we're going to have to give something up, or, whatever. But advocate for yourself. And if you can't negotiate with the person who's having the problem, like there was no way my husband was not going to take that because it was the middle of the pandemic and his depression medication had stopped working, and he there was no option, right? He needed the month off. So there was no way for us to say no to that. But, I could say, okay, we're going to cut back on these expenses, or okay, but I'm going to ask for help from somebody else over here to support me while I support you, right? However it is that you need to manage, you manage so that you don't have to sacrifice, right? Because sacrifice means giving up something of yourself. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to kill things off. You don't want to strip yourself bare. You don't want to, bleed yourself dry, right? That's what sacrifice means, right? What do we associate sacrifice with? Christ's crucifixion. He died. He freaking died in agony. That is not what we want associated with our relationships, right? Okay. Now that we've said that, I just want to mention that if you were a little resonant with a lot of the things that I said on this call, on this episode, this would be the good time for you to sign up for Inner Peace 101, because that's what we deal with. We deal with all of that stuff. And so feel free to check it out. You'll find it on the homepage of the website. Click through, sign up for a discovery call. We would love to talk to you, and we would love to help you feel better really quickly. Okay. Have a great one. We'll talk to you next time. This has been Spirit Sherpa Minis, a production of Kelly Sparta Enterprises. Copyright 2021. All rights reserved.